I'm kidding, everybody. I was trying to mess with my my producer was like, tell me your mic's on, Kathy. So I was just trying to mess with y'all. Hi, everybody. Happy holidays. I'm Kathy J. Welcome to the Kathy J Show, everybody. It's a beautiful time of the year. We're just so happy that you're hanging out and joining us. So thank you very much. So we hope that the spirit of the season is keeping you joyful. So make sure to stay connected with us at KathyJShow.com for anything that you might have missed, everybody. So today, speaking of the joyful season, the holidays are also a time of the year that deplete us emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That's why self-care is so critical this time of the year, but let's be honest, the whole year, everybody. Our sex psychology and relationship coach, Leslie Gustafson, is here. Yay! To break it all down. Leslie, I have to tell you, like, our viewers love you.
Oh.
Every time that we post your advice, anything, we always get comments of people saying that how awesome you are. So thank you.
Thank you
For coming here and giving us your time.
That warms my heart. That's what I'm here for.
Yes,
so,
I love it. I love it. Okay, so self-care,
Yes.
it's a catchphrase.
It is.
And it's by being a catchphrase and getting overused, it's ruining the point of self-care.
Yes, it's making it trivial or superficial.
Yes.
Like, I'll just go get my nails done and that's self-care and that's all I need to do.
Yeah, that's not
It's
it. Go
very,
get a massage.
like, pampering or light or superficial is how we hear self-care. And it's such a buzzword on social media and everywhere.
Totally.
Like, self-care, self-love. And you're like, what are we even talking about?
Yes.
It's not really that.
It's not.
No.
Self-care is about your mindset. It's everything, correct?
Yes, it's everything. It's about, and we'll get into it, it's about our whole person.
Yeah.
And it's also, unfortunately, the word self-care also sounds very girl, doesn't it?
It
Very
does.
feminine.
I was going to say you.
So guys, as soon as they hear the word self-care, they're just tuning out
Yeah,
because
I'm
it's like,
out.
oh, the women are talking.
They say,
And,
right,
it's,
this
and
has nothing to do
self-care
with
is
me.
for everybody.
Okay, even men.
Even men.
Even men, you guys.
Even in the raising of our children, it is central to that. But because it's not really about just brushing our hair
Yes.
or primping or doing the occasional bath.
Yeah,
right.
right. And here's the thing that when we talk to everybody out there, especially you fellas out there, there's consequences if you don't get the right self-care. Consequences. I mean, it's bad, right?
It's
Explain
everything. Okay, self-care ultimately is about who we are and how we see ourselves and the worth and the value and our own liking, even loving of who we are.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that we do for our children, which is, now think about your girls.
Yes.
Do you just adore your girls?
I love them to death.
And less that they're really hard and they can be irritable and stressful and frustrating, but when you have a quiet moment or when you gave birth and you had that baby and you see your girls now, you just think, oh my gosh, my girl.
Yes.
I love her.
I do.
She's so special. She's so unique.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I hope she has the happiest,
Yes,
fullest,
I
most
want
beautiful
everything
life.
for her.
I want everything for her. Same for us.
Right.
Do we do that for ourselves?
No.
Right, we don't. Because
Especially-
it got lost a long time ago, right?
Right.
Or we got hurt or injured. And so that adoration of self, which while sounds self-centered, isn't. We stop giving that kind of affirmation and love and care. We stop honoring who we really are, or we never really discovered who she or he is.
Right. I was going to say, a lot of men never even get to the point of discovering who they are. They just start working, and that's their life, right? So stop there.
Okay.
So everybody, don't go anywhere, Leslie. Don't go anywhere there at home, everybody. In this next half hour, we're going to get into more about what self-care isn't, what it is, and how you can teach it to your kids. We'll be right back.
Kathy J.
The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on.
Kathy J.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show, everybody. Leslie Gustafson, our sex psychology and relationship coach, is here to talk with us about self-care.
That's a tongue twister.
It
You
sure
did it.
is. I know. I got it through, Leslie. There's a lot at this time of the year, especially, where we are not giving ourselves self-care at all right now.
Right.
Yes. So self-care is not just going and getting a massage. Let's break down what it is not.
Okay, it is not squeezing something into your life so much so that when you squeeze it in, it just adds pressure to your life. You're like,
Okay.
your life life is so full, it's so busy, you're taking care of others, you've got responsibilities, work, all of the things.
Yeah.
You're backburnered, but you're like, oh my gosh, I need to get something on the calendar for
Yeah,
me.
right. That's
and then
what
you
we
like
do.
give yourself an hour.
Yes.
Like that's gonna do it. And it won't. It's not enough.
It's
and it
not.
can't be a last resort either where you're on the edge of burnout and then you're sliding into the massage, but you're exhausted.
But that's how most of us live, Leslie.
Because
like,
that's how we think.
Yeah.
Because we're so deprioritized amongst everything else that we just kind of throw ourselves in. We're on the edge of catastrophe.
Yeah, right.
And it can't be intermittent. It can't be every so often. Because what that actually does is, here's how stress works. Life is very stressful. We take in a stimulation all day long. We're doing this. There's challenged relationships.
Right.
It builds up inside of us. It's a stressful world we live in.
Absolutely.
And we inhabit it and it fills us up.
Yes.
And by day's end, we're like, okay, I'll have a glass of wine. That'll totally
that'll calm down the
that'll,
day.
There, I'm gonna have a little
Right.
self-care.
Or whatever you do to
But
relax.
it actually anchors the stress cycle because then you wind back up again and then you do one little thing you think is going to recover
Yes.
and you don't recover there.
Okay.
It actually keeps that whole cycle going.
So the recovery of, oh, you know what? It's been 6 months since I had a massage. I finally went and had one. Or I haven't seen my girls in forever and we went and hung out for 2 hours.
It's something.
It is something because I
Yes.
felt great after seeing my girlfriends, right?
Yes.
But it's not self-care.
It is a help.
Okay. It's a tool. It
It's
fills
a
my
help,
bucket,
right?
Which helps my
But
endorphins
if you're
and my
adding
stress
it on
level.
your long list of things to do, right?
yes.
And then it becomes, I'm going to get really good at being a self-care person. You can go
right.
that extreme too, where
Yeah.
you're like in the gym and you're doing all of these things all the time because you're going to be the best self-carer.
Right,
Like we
right.
put them into an achievement mindset.
Yes, right.
Right? Because it's not about fixing yourself either.
Okay.
It's not. Okay? So all these ways that we kind of like give ourselves a little bit, is that good? Yes, but it won't do the trick. It's not going to sustain your emotional equilibrium. It's not going to keep you stress free. It's just going to give you a moment of going, oh my gosh, I do have a life, right?
Right, right.
Okay.
Oh, it felt so
good.
Yes.
Turns out I have a life.
We
and then
always
we
say-
go back to the stress.
We always say, oh, it was good to reset myself.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Fold
you-
a minute.
Right, for the minute. That's exactly how you do it.
Right.
Oh, it was so
and
nice
it was
to
so
reset.
good. And you would think that those good feelings and that positive experience alone would be enough to drive
Yes.
you to creating a life of it.
Right.
But that's not what we do.
And men listening right now, I'm sure they're still saying, well, I don't need any of that. I don't need to go to a massage. I don't need a pedicure. I don't need
Right.
to go, like I go and have some beers with the buddies, like.
Right,
I
because
mean,
that whole part of it, what it isn't, it really doesn't do anything for anybody. Women are more likely to do those
right.
things, and then guys don't even have those things they do.
Exactly.
Maybe it's having a beer and watching the game
Right.
with a buddy. Even then, it's not very often. They have way less friends.
Okay, yeah,
Right,
right.
they have way less friends than women.
You're
So,
right. They're
you know,
truly not fixing anything. They
no,
are just
and maybe they go to the
sustaining their
gym
life.
and get the occasional massage because they've got a health focus.
Yeah.
And that can be a kind of self-care. But again, we aren't there yet.
We aren't there
We
yet.
aren't there
We
yet.
aren't there. So-
This will not give you the life you long for, all of these things.
So coming up next, everybody, what are these things? How do we get to the right things to actually have real self-care? Don't go away. We'll be
That's
right back.
right.
We're going to get
Kathy J.
Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better.
Kathy J.
All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show. Love that you're hanging out this half hour. We are talking about self-care.
We are.
With Leslie Gustafson. You're the best lady.
Duh.
Okay, so now let's get into what is
Yes.
self-care? How do we master it and have it?
Yes.
It starts with one
It
core.
starts with how we see ourselves. If I could wave a magic wand
Right.
and let you know in such a way that it sinks into the core of who you are in such a way that you believe it and you own it
Yeah.
and you live it out, that you, Kathy, your children, your partner, every one of us is amazing, magnificent, unique, wonderfully designed.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
Authentic, no one like you.
Uh-huh.
And you had such a sense of yourself as being worthy
Yes.
and valuable and lovable.
Right.
And that was your truth every single day, then everything from there changes. Why? Because wouldn't you treat her well?
Yes.
Your kids, you treat them well because you adore them.
Yes.
You carve a life around them. You make sure they're okay. You check in with them. You
Right.
make sure they sleep. You make sure they have pleasure and play and
Absolutely,
that they're
yes.
growing and they have productivity. And you make sure they're loved.
Right.
And you talk to them most of the time as best you can, like we're
Yeah,
as
yeah,
parents,
right.
with love and affirmation, because we want to build them up and ultimately we want our kids to find their way and be happy in this life.
Okay, I agree. I agree.
So
I totally
it
agree.
is for us.
So it starts with in us, and that's
Yes.
what so many of us
knowing
miss is-
who we are.
Yes.
Really.
Right, but I can say I love myself, I'm unique, I'm awesome, but I have all these responsibilities all day long
Yep.
still. And I'm awesome that I can get
Yes.
through all these responsibilities
Yes.
all day long. But I
Yes.
also have a car that's breaking down on me. I also have traffic in the morning.
Yes.
I also have kids that didn't want to get their shoes on.
Yes.
There was all this stress before I even got to work.
That's right.
Now I have the pain in the butt at work, and,
Yes.
and so like
Yes.
so I forgot who I am. I'm just maintaining to get through.
You said it right
But
there.
I still say I'm awesome. I'm
yes,
just exhausted.
you're awesome, and then you throw it out, and then you do this life
Yes.
the same way.
That's the problem?
Yes, because you're not staying centered in the truth of it throughout the day. You don't come back to stay in a place of connection with yourself where
Yeah.
you affirm yourself and you go, "How you doing, Kathy?
Yeah.
Hanging in there. You're doing great, Kathy. Keep at it. Do you need a
Okay.
break, Kathy? I could use a rest right now." Like, there's this same kind of dialogue that we can have with ourselves
All right.
that we do with our kids.
Okay, and men can do this as well. Like, you know,
Yes.
like Director John. If
Right.
he
And maybe you
could-
start to restructure your day different, because then your boundaries are put in place because you're thinking of your highest regard. What's
Right.
going to be best for me?
Every
What's going
day.
to allow me to make it till I'm 90 years old, to
Yeah.
not burn out tomorrow, to
To
have
not-
the full life
right.
that I want over time.
Okay, and
Quick fixes
Yes.
don't give us that.
Right.
We want to be in it for the long haul, and that means we inhabit who we are as a way of life, and we treat him or her well. And we
Yes.
create a lifestyle and a structure around us that is how we want it to be and how we know we can thrive in it. Because you're right, life is full of all of that.
So-
and we can drown in it.
Absolutely. So self-care is everything from knowing your boundaries, knowing who you are, how you present yourself at work, how you talk to it is.
It's your
self-care
decisions.
is-
It's creating a
I was
lifestyle.
hoping it would be a little easier than that, Leslie. This means I gotta
But
go
wait
to
a
the
minute,
core.
if you always come back to knowing the truth of who you are
Right.
and loving her, then you do that actively throughout your life. You really can, without selfishly orbit around yourself.
Yes.
It's okay to orbit around yourself.
Right.
And self-preserve
No one
and
ever
take
does
care
that.
of self. I know, because we think it's selfish and we
Right.
feel guilty and we have to
Exactly.
take care of everybody else, and everybody else's needs matter more. And we drown, it doesn't matter. We throw ourselves back here, or we never ever really knew who we were
In the
and really
first
grabbed
place.
hold of how magnificent we are, because we've been hurt in our histories and we're just like trying to survive,
Yes,
right?
we're all hoping
Yes.
for a better day.
We're all
Like
hoping for a better
yes.
day. You are the better day. You.
You
are the better day. When we can grab hold of how wonderful, divine, and magnificent we are,
Right.
and care for her as a way of life, and care for him. Know that you're an awesome man, a good man,
Right.
who needs to be taken care of.
Right.
A man who deserves respect, who needs to have good sleep, who needs honor. We all need these things, honor and respect.
Yes.
But we are in charge of our lives. We have to take up that for ourselves. We have to inhabit self-care like it's everything for everything and everyone, because it is.
Self-care
Because it is.
we're the priority.
We're
Look
the
in the mirror,
priority.
that's your priority.
Knowing your worth, taking care of her,
Yeah.
treating her
Well,
like
where
you
does
would.
it start? My day is so busy with a schedule. Do I actually have to pencil in a time to think about how much I love myself?
You
at the
look
end
at
of the
your
day?
schedule, and
'Cause
you
I am
look-
depleted by the end
Here's
of the
what
day.
you do with your schedule. You say, what do I want my day to look like? Is that it?
No, never. It's never. But there's priorities. There's things that you have to do all day. So mentally, I need to change how I address them, right? Is that
Yes.
what it is? And at
Yes.
the end of the night, instead of falling into the couch with whatever I am to de-stress at the end of the day,
Yes.
I don't do that. Through the day, I need to be saying, we got this, Kathy. Everything's fine.
Yes, but you also create.
broken down on the side of the road. We
You
got
have
this.
to create a day that's doable.
Right.
That isn't overwhelming and unmanageable, where you're just like,
And
what's
don't
the next
be scared
thing?
to say no to people.
Don't be scared. It's essential.
Yeah.
You say, I want my life to look like this. So practically speaking, what's my day gonna have to
That
look
is
like?
self-care,
right?
everybody. Yeah.
I literally, from 2 to 3:30, everyone, I have nap time.
2 to 3:30.
2 to 3:30. Don't check in with me. This is my low
That's
time of the
heaven.
day.
Yes.
This is my low time of the day. I'm just going to own it that my energy runs low then. I'm going to check out. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to get my brain recalibrated. I'm going to come out calmer and more at peace, and then have a rest of a day where I can stay productive and present.
Okay, it
Right?
sounds heavenly.
Well-
and so I think we all should try to get there. Baby steps, everybody.
Yes.
It's like there's no grade on this. You can.
And
you
if you
can do
if you
this.
ask one question about your day, are you in it? Am I in my day? Are there things
in
in
my
it that
day?
that look like I
And
want
do you
my
wanna
life to
change
look
things?
like?
Yes. All right. So coming
Yes.
up, everybody. Now that we have a better understanding of what self-care is,
Yes.
how do you teach it to your kids so that they maintain it?
Yes.
Yes. We'll be right back after the break. Good job.
Kathy J.
Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness.
Kathy J.
I want y'all to know I've been putting Leslie to the test during the commercial break. I'm like, but
She
what about
has
this
been
example?
putting me to the test.
Yes, what about this one? So everybody, we're talking about self-care, what it is and what it isn't this half hour,
Right.
so we can get a better handle on it.
You think we're getting it?
I think we're getting it. It starts with you, which is what you're always told, I think, about
Yes.
any lesson in life.
It starts with you and
it's-
it ends with you.
that it ends with you. So when we go to our kids, how do I teach my kids? Because I, of course, when they're little, it's so easy to be like, you're anything, you can be anything you want to do. You don't be scared. Don't use that vocabulary that you can't do it. That kind of stuff.
I love that.
But then you end somewhere. Then all of a sudden it gets lost. Is it because they're watching me work so hard? But I think that's a good role model.
It's part of a good role model.
Right.
But we're not just workers,
Right.
As women, as people.
Right.
Our value isn't all about productivity and significance and work. Our value is also about just who we are.
Right.
And so when they see you also just, curled up in a corner reading
Because
a
you're
book for your
tired.
own
Oh,
nourishment.
yeah.
Right?
I could do that.
They see you taking care of yourself. We are such a culture of doing, but it's really the times when we are being ourselves and we are centered and we are present and we're able to draw alongside them, or we're doing things that are nourishing to ourselves, or they're seeing our love.
Yeah.
Right? They can experience our emotionality, that we're in a good place.
Right.
That we have self-worth, that we feel good about ourselves, that we are lovable and valuable, and so are they.
Ain't nobody got time for that, Leslie. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The being is a great teacher, even more so than the doing, because you're showing them how to be present and okay with
Yes.
themselves and loved just as they are.
You're
not
right.
just by what they do or the grades that they get.
Right.
So when they see you just loving your life, just enjoying your own existence and enjoying them,
Right.
you are showing them how to be. Right?
Yes,
It's
I
it's
wish
brilliant.
I wish I
It's-
could be home right now. I wish it was 4:00 right now and they were home from school, because I have so much energy right now and I could cry about the fact of what I'd want to do with them. But when 4:00 gets here, I'm
know.
exhausted.
I
And
know.
I'm like, yay, we're all here. Mommy's gonna sit on the couch for 15 minutes. Don't bother me, and that turns into an hour. Now
Right.
you know,
It's
like
hard. It's hard.
right. So
It's hard.
it's me just giving that. I need to push harder as a parent to try to get them to see the self-care, which is fine because the push is actually going to help me in the long run.
You need to rearrange your day in such a way
Yeah.
that you aren't coming home dead tired.
Right.
But if you are dead tired, give yourself some time and then
Yeah.
regroup and then try to enter back in.
Right.
And you don't have to, this is not achievement. You can just enter back in. Just show up with your happy face.
Okay, good. Yeah,
right?
there. I love that.
Show
right.
up with your happy face and say, hey, girls.
Where are we
And
at?
they're
What are
like,
we
they're
doing?
just waiting. They're
Yes,
just
they
waiting. to
always
connect
are, right.
Because you're their everything.
So are there
Yeah.
so activities that might help with self-care? What could I do with them? Like just anything? As long as it's present.
As long as you are connected and present and you are loving on them and you're affirming them,
Right.
and they know that you love yourself,
Right.
and you're so glad to be with them, that's it.
It's funny because it seems so hard, but it's the easiest concept.
It's relaxing and chilling with them.
It's
and
relaxing and
joining with
chilling,
them
and we
being
can do that
present.
this holiday season, everybody.
Yes.
To connect with Leslie.
We try too hard.
We try too hard. That's so good.
Parenting isn't achievement, it's being with them.
LeslieGustafson.com. You can also find Leslie on Facebook and Instagram.
She's everywhere.
Thank you so much, Leslie.
My pleasure.
Yes, self-care, one more couple sentences. 10 seconds, you got one sentence?
You are amazing. Each one of you are amazing. Honor that. Take care of yourself so you can have the most beautiful life possible.
Yes, thank you. You did it.